Knowing your path is knowing your soul. Defining your path is defining your soul purpose. Welcome to the Define Your Path podcast show. Welcome to the Define Your Path podcast show, where we are all about helping you face your fears to love the skin you're in, while lifting you into a possibility mindset to serve, profit, and sustain in life and business. Guys, you are in for an awesome show today. Wait and see what I tell you. Hello, Faithful. It's my pleasure to be your corner woman here on DYP. I am Dr. Virginia LeBlanc Shazad, known in most circles as DocV, the Pivot Maestro. And yes, I have mastered the art of the pivot, earning that moniker. But that story is for another day. This show is not about me. It's about you. And we have a guest for you in Miss Harriet Bratt. Just wait and see. If you found yourself here, it's for a reason, folks. We speak to the souls of the aspiring and current entrepreneurs and business owners, especially to you parallelpreneurs, feeling like your soul is being snuffed out, seeking a better way and wanting to live a quality life on your own terms. It's time to think without that box, pivot, and define your own path. We're here to help you with that on this very show by exposing you to global thought leaders, change agents, and legacy builders across trades and continents. Like my guest today, I know I keep hinting, DYP provides a platform for their stories to share how they've overcome in life and business to define their paths. If we can do it, you can do it. At Defining Paths International, we operate truth, transparency, and love to help you navigate those waters of your life and put you back in business. The Define Your Path podcast is an extension of that mission and no exception. It all starts with you, folks. Find your willpower, find your strength. Can you hear your soul call? The questions it asks: will you be the captain of your crew? Will you be the captain of your fate and the master of your soul? Today's spotlight, if you cannot tell already, I'm super excited, is with Harriet Bratt. Let me tell you a little bit about Harriet. Harriet is a powerhouse speaker and mentor on a mission to help ambitious entrepreneurs own the stage, elevate their income, and make serious impact whilst having a lot of fun along the way. And I guarantee you that it is one thing to speak, another to impact, she says. With her warrior's approach to mindset, public speaking, and business growth, Harriet supports you to step fully into your power and turn information into unforgettable messages. Having provided keynotes and ran live events for thousands around the world, plus training hundreds of speakers, along with her online membership Impact, Harriet empowers female entrepreneurs to play with fear, confidently captivate audiences, and create magic on both live and virtual stages. I love that play with fear here. You got to talk about that, girl. When she's not teaching others to keep their fire burning and continue to inspire, you'll find her outdoors with her dogs, embracing travel, or dancing around the house, and me living vicariously through her. So Harriet, welcome to the show, girl.
Hello, Dr. V. Wow. What a beautiful intro. What a lovely opening to your podcast. And I feel like I'm here as a fellow faithful. So it's an honor and a privilege to be with you and your listeners. I'm excited for our conversation.
Yes, girl, I have a feeling it's going to be fire. God bless. I appreciate you. And thank you for saying yes. We look so forward to hearing your story and how you embrace your fears, how you made them your ally to find the true you and walk in passion and soul purpose. So we only ask two questions, as I've shared with you. We only ask you, how have you defined your path and how have you helped others define theirs? So sis, the spotlight is yours. How have you defined your
path? Thank you so much. I find this fascinating, and I'm sure, like many of your listeners, all of us listen, hear, watch different podcasts, different interviews, and I love the variety that Dr. V is bringing. I love your concept of having these concise questions and an
Mm.
understanding of every path is different, but it's up to
Yes.
you to navigate that. So I
Yes.
love your focus. And I'll also admit, I had that moment when I was like, two questions for a podcast? Even as a speaker, how am I going to fill this?
Girl, we follow our flow. That's how.
Exactly, exactly. We follow the
Yeah.
flow, we follow the flow. So let's jump in. First question, how do I define my path? For
Yeah.
me, defining my path is an ongoing process.
Mm.
It is a commitment to making conscious choices. And I think, in a very small nutshell, that would be my answer. How do I define my path? I
Mm.
commit to a series of conscious choices. What do I mean by that? Every single one of us has something, maybe a few different things that light us up, that we get excited about.
Yes.
Many of us either have or are living a path which we were told we were meant to, or
Girl,
that
you're
we
gonna
had
make
to.
yes, you're gonna make me run out of my seat already. Go ahead, honey.
I'm in flow. I'm in flow. I'm answering your question. Don't
Yes.
break it. I might forget.
Sorry. Mm.
So I play, I play.
Yeah.
I think it's, first of all, really understanding that we have choice in our path. Because I'm sure, like many people listening, and I don't know how you feel about this, Dr. V, but it was really only less than a decade ago, and I turned 40 this month. It was less than a decade ago that I actually realized, like, oh, wow, like we have choice in this game.
Mm.
I don't have to be running the
That's
hamster
right.
wheel and just
Yes.
working, 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 seeing my family, seeing my friends, working again, seeing my family, seeing my,
Hmm.
right? And
Right.
for me, that was the biggest moment of defining my path, was that moment of suddenly realizing that there is another way.
Yes.
And of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about my path, but what feels important within your amazing, and I love the name of your podcast, Defining Your Path. What I think is important to mention is everybody's path is different. So, exactly as your title says, define your path.
Or yes.
And I've really been blessed through choice, but also through opportunity to do a lot of traveling. And if there is any one message that I received from traveling as much as I did, is there is no set path. There is no one way. There is no you should do it this way and this is the right way. This is the only way. You know, even if you're in the same industry, doing the same job or have the same business as an entrepreneur, there are so many different ways that we can do this. And underneath all of that is the uniqueness of you.
Yes.
Not only is it your path, but you're also doing it your way.
I love it. I love it. So, so many people, though, like the educational system sets us all up to walk through the same construct, right? And there's never really any talk about individuality within that educational system. So it sounds like you found yourself also kind of walking that same path, and then you had that aha moment. Is that the case, or?
Very much so.
Mm.
And I'll touch into my aha moment in a second. But yes, absolutely. I think that is the biggest deal, right? Schools, education systems, the mainstream learning puts us into jobs or puts us into boxes or puts us into categories. The freedom of being an entrepreneur, the freedom of the internet these days allows us to have so much scope to follow what truly lights us up and this is the key, lights us up and provides value for others. And of course, that's very much more in a business sense, but for me, that is part of defining my path. And yes, Dr. V, you're spot on. That's exactly where my shift happened. I was actually working in my family business at the time. It was a care environment, residential homes. And
Mhm.
I sort of worked myself up. I'd been a carer, senior carer, deputy manager, and then became the manager of a care home and eventually setting up a person-centered care um, course, program, training. throughout the Southwest, so an area within the UK. But I realized it was just something I was doing, right? I just fell into it because it was the family business and I wasn't sure what else I wanted to do. So I just ended up doing that. And it was actually sitting at my office desk. I had a huge window in front of the desk, and as the manager of a home with 44 residents, over 70 staff, doctors, nurses, paramedics, visitors, family coming in and out of the home, my window sits in the main area overlooking or not overlooking, but in view of
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And in this moment of traffic coming past the office window, I sat there and ugly cried.
Wow.
And I mean, like, bubbles,
Ugly girl.
like ugly. Mascara down the face, bubbles out the nose, uncontrollable. Like, don't even care what's happening outside of this window. They can all see me. I
Yeah.
probably look like a Big Brother show. But for me in that moment, it was the complete visceral understanding of this is not what I'm meant to be doing. I'm not happy. I'm not living my purpose. My soul is not speaking to me right now. I
Right.
can't even hear her because
Right.
I'm so trapped in the rat race of what we should be doing.
Yes. Should. Yes. Oh
Exactly.
my
So for me, that was the moment of kind of going, wait a minute, there must be more, and consciously waking up to defining my own path.
Oh, that's powerful, girl. I have goosebumps over here. That's so good because I had those defining moments as well. Now I'm a little stubborn and I'm loyal to a fault. So it took me a little minute to figure that out, to truly embrace that aha and make that pivot. But no, that's fascinating. So you literally help people. Let's talk about how you help others define their path. I mean, you do a lot, right? And I love it all. Um, you help them break out of those boxes as well. You help them break that socio-cultural conditioning and way of thinking and being to embrace their soul and find their voices through speaking.
Yes.
Please tell
Absolutely.
us more.
Well, I think, and just elaborate, and I will shift and flow into that
Oh
river,
yeah.
but I think it stems as well, and I'm sure for a lot of coaches, leaders, mentors listening, it stems from your journey. So it's from that
Yes.
moment for me of waking up
Yes.
and
Mhm.
actually choosing to define my path and
Yes.
taking action on what was important to me. And, when you were reading the intro there, you said about playing with the fear. Fear is going to show up when you're defining your path. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what it did for me. And what
Yeah.
I came to realize was the only thing that ever stops you, is your fear, or is
Yeah.
the negative and disempowering story that you
Mhm.
have probably made up and you're running through your mind that prevents you taking action on what is important to you. So
Oh,
that's both
absolutely.
what I did, and that's both how I help people. I
Yes.
identified a need to expand, a a desire to feel happiness, fulfilled, and have life on my terms with flexibility.
Hmm.
I followed that path. I put the time in, I put the energy, I put the work in, and then I went, holy smokes, I can't keep this all for myself.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
of course I ended up sharing that with others, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what it became. For me, I support female entrepreneurs to speak and sell with aligned confidence from live and virtual stages. That is a path for many people, but the path starts inside your mind, right? How do you communicate with yourself? What is your self-talk doing? And that's how I really support others to define their path, is to really connect with themselves internally and listen. Like, everybody say hello. You too, Dr. V. Say hello. Not out loud, but say hello.
Hmm.
That voice is talking to us all day long. But what many
Yes.
of us don't realize is we can, to use your words, be the captain
Yes.
of that ship. Yes, we can pour into that funnel how we want to speak to ourselves, what thoughts we want to think, what stories we want to tell. And it's
That's
not
right.
about false positivity, but it is
Hmm.
about this podcast. It is about defining your path. How do you
Yeah.
speak to yourself that enables you to make conscious choices that derive inspired action on what is important to you.
Yes. Oh my girl. You said a mouthful. That was so powerful. And you're right. It's what I like to call bringing our intuition conscious intuition.
Yes,
Because
love that.
how many times have we, like in school, right? We're taking a test, right? And we look at a multiple choice answer. We see the answer that is correct, but we skip it and go to that next answer because we're caught up in, we're not paying attention. We don't understand that soul speaking to us,
Yeah.
and then we choose the wrong answer. It's the same thing in life.
And then afterwards we go, I knew it. I
Yeah.
knew it.
Wow, wow. So, like, do you work with a specific age range of women, backgrounds? Tell us a little bit more about the type of women who come to you. And are they hesitant at first? And how you break through that? Sorry, I know that was a lot. Several questions.
No, I would say in terms of live events, I am open. We run
Hmm.
we run some big events with all ages. But in
Hmm.
terms of really honing in on your public speaking, in terms of allowing yourself to speak with confidence, to represent your business as an entrepreneur, to land what is important to you and how that helps your customer. In
Hmm.
that sense, I mostly work with women who are between 30 and 50.
Hmm.
Are they nervous when they come to me? It's an interesting one because I
Yeah.
would say I attract confident women.
Uh-huh.
Yet in certain environments, when you put them on the stage, when you ask them to sell their product, the nerves come in, right?
Yes.
So I
Hmm.
think it's a really interesting question because for me, I think I'm a very confident woman, but if you put me in a plane and told me to take 100 passengers and fly them
Yeah.
to France safely, I am not confident, right?
Right, right.
Gone. So I'd replace the word with bold. I help bold women who get nervous at times speaking
Hmm.
on stage, but who are confident in what they do and what they offer. I help them translate that into confidence on stage to speak about their gift, their content, and their wisdom.
I love it. And do you do that by them helping them share their story, to open up and be more vulnerable, strong, find their strength within their vulnerability?
Very much so. I think vulnerability is key, and we've or many of us, I'm sure, have heard of Brown, and the
Love her. Yeah.
vulnerability is key. Amazing lady. Let's shout out Brene. But it's true, right? And I've learned this in my journey, only with really connecting with my vulnerability, only with truly owning my flaws, my issues, my challenges, my tough times, only
Mhm.
in really being true to those moments have I really allowed myself to expand on the other side. And
Mm,
when you share from that position, that's when you connect. That's when
yeah,
you relate. We don't want polished robots. We don't
absolutely.
want, I got 1 million overnight through this one funnel. No, you didn't. Something happened behind the scenes, right?
Girl, look. Don't get me on that soapbox.
Exactly, exactly. So suffice to
Yeah,
say, I
yeah,
support them, yes, in sharing their story, absolutely in sharing their story, but also in sharing your content, right? It's one thing
mm,
to just deliver a 60-minute keynote about in
yeah,
information that provides value. It's another thing to provide a 60-minute keynote that engages, that inspires, that impacts, that interacts with all of the audience so they walk away with a message. It's very
yes.
different. So yes, story, absolutely. Story is the connector, but also how do you share your content, your
Hmm.
wisdom, your value? How do you share that in a way that lands?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, so good, so good. So obviously I'm one who is all about the mind, body, soul connection, intersection with business. And and I know you do your fire walking. Oh, I want to know about that, girl. We might have to say that for the TV show, but but do you talk about that at all also within just helping them connect to or in finding their voice?
I am so sorry. I'm going to have to ask you to repeat the question
Yeah.
because I was imagining, because you said firewalk, I was
Yeah.
literally thinking of a
Yeah.
define your path firewalk. Imagine that,
Oh,
like The path is the firewalk.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Got a whole session coming here, so I apologize. Please repeat the
No worries.
question.
No worries. We got to put a pin in that one. Yeah, so I was just asking about just the connection to what you do to the mind, the body, the soul, that connection, and then the intersection to business. Can you speak a little bit about that, a little more about that?
Absolutely. And I love, love, love this question. Would it be okay if I speak quite quickly to just like
Absolutely.
drive it home? So we said mind, body, spirit in the context of being a speaker. First of all, your mind, for me as a speaker, this is your most important tool for you. Yes, your audience, because you learn, you collect your knowledge, you collect your information within your mind and your brain, and that's where you're sharing from. But actually, the mind is for you as a speaker to be in state, to be confident and competent in what it is that you're sharing, but actually to allow yourself to take a deep breath
Mm,
and come out of your head and into your heart. Because when we're in our head, when we're in our mind, we're thinking about us. What if I
mm,
make a mistake? What if it goes wrong? Should I share this story? Should I share that story? What if I tell them this? What if I get a question wrong? What if I trip up the step? Right? It's all about us in the
mm,
mind. So take a
mm.
deep breath, trust the knowledge that you've stored into your mind, but bring it down to your heart. This
Yes.
is where we're focusing on our audience. Yes, this is faith
Yes.
over fear. Faithfuls out
Yes.
there. I heard DocV
Yes.
calling that
Yes. Yes.
faithfuls
Yes.
out there. Yes, we're coming out of
Sharp
our
girl.
head.
Mm.
Yes, into our heart, and we're leaning
Yes.
into faith.
Yes.
How do I support? How do I serve? Why does what I say make a difference? Why does what I have to share bring value to that audience? And if there's just one nugget that can make a difference in someone's life, was that worth it?
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
So that's your mind, obviously your heart, and then very quickly your body, your physiology. If I'm sitting there like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, I'm about to speak, and my body is nervous, I'm cringing, my shoulders are in, my head is down, I am not in a good state. If I bring my body up, yes, head
Mhm.
up, shoulders up, just shifting our physiology makes a difference to our mental state of being. It makes a difference to how we show up. It makes a difference to how the audience receives our message. And then last but not least, your soul. Take a deep breath, everybody. For me, this is where speaking goes to an advanced level. And I work with many people that are within the spirituality. I don't really like to call it an industry, right? Because it's a way
Right,
of being, it's a lifestyle, but
right.
also a lot of people have business within that. So for me, when it comes to speaking, I work with a lot of people that are already like downloading, channeling. I'm a speaker and I have.
Channeling. I'm with you, girl. I'm with you.
Thank you. Thank you. You got me. She really is a corner woman. But they're receiving whatever language you want to put to it and they're sharing. And then there's people that are very, very logical when they speak. So you have this variety. And for me, connecting with your soul as a human, and this is important, connecting with your soul as a human. I connect with my soul and I allow myself to be open as a vessel to receive whatever that audience needs to hear. But when I share it in a way that that audience will remember. Because if I just channel and deliver like raw, in the moment, it's like, wow, because it's such pure energy, right? In the moment, it's like,
Yes.
wow, that was so inspiring. That was so empowering. I took so much from that. But then they walk away and they don't remember. But if
Right.
I'm able to channel, and by the way, like I'm sharing this in a way I haven't before, so thank you so much for the question. If
Mm-hmm.
I open myself up as a vessel to share, but then I deliver it in a way that the audience receives and remembers, now not only do they have an inspiring, empowering moment, but they also walk away with that inside them. And therefore, it's much more likely to make an impact and a difference in their life. I think one of the most famous channeling, downloading speakers is Abraham Hicks.
Mm.
Every single time she speaks, she or the entity, they,
Yeah.
not in the context of today's pronouns, but the entity
Yeah.
here,
Yeah. Tracking.
right?
Hmm.
They answer spontaneously. So everything they share as a speaker is from source, right? It's not mind,
Yeah.
it's not body, it's soul, it's spirit, it's
Yes.
universal consciousness, whatever language you want to put to it. It's a free flow from source.
Yes.
However, you'll notice she free flows, but she always has the message of focus on feeling good and coming back to her 5 points. Ask, focus on the contrast, ask, believe, receive, etc., etc. So even though she completely channels, she delivers it in a way that the audience remember and can have practical takeaways. Because I think this is what we need to remember too. We're having a physical experience. So no matter
Yes.
what our beliefs, we're still human. We're still going through a human experience. So for me as a speaker, how can we bring the mind, body, soul into
Yeah.
creating that congruent three-way impact to the audience?
Yes. Yes. Mm. Oh my goodness. Girl, look, I could just sit here and I feel like I'm in a class right now.
I did with your opening.
You know, that is so powerful and so good. So many nuggets. Look, Harriet, we definitely need you to come over to Candid Conversations TV and we will continue. We'll pick this up and talk about so much more. But I tell you what, girl, you are operating. I felt that in my soul. Literally, you are operating in your soul purpose. And I'm sure the world is blessed for it. I know I am. I'm super grateful for you coming on the show and sharing with the audience and just pouring into them. So thank you so much for being our spotlight today.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you, with all of your listeners. Hola, everybody. And I just want to give you a shout out. Like your heart, your passion, your energy, your vibes, and this platform is so powerful for everybody listening. And I want to honor and acknowledge that. You're doing the work, you're defining the path, and it's
Mm,
immensely powerful.
girl, that you know what? That's love. I appreciate that. Love for the love. Thank you so much. Oh gosh. I just love you to death, girl. Audience. Audience, I want you to be sure to reach out to Harriet, follow her on her social media. It'll be on all the platforms. Harriet, would you like to tell them a best way to reach out to you? Any special way, medium?
Sure, absolutely. I'm on the major social network platforms, so Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Harriet Bratt Speaker. I also have a beautiful free group to support you with your confidence and speaking and selling with that aligned confidence on Facebook. I'm guessing the links will be
Yes.
within the show notes.
Yes.
But honestly, I just invite you to connect. If you got a question, if you want to share an insight, if you just want to say, hey, I like your hairstyle, then drop in Harriet Bratt.
Yes. And I do grow. I used to rock that. Yours is longer than when I rocked mine, but I love
Everyone says I have long hair and then I switch sides.
I love it. I love it, girl. Folks, at the very least, you need to go jump into that Facebook group, but I want you to do even more. Harriet is such a jewel, and you will not regret working with her, being in her presence, and just getting to know her and allowing her to pour into you. So you may also learn, as I mentioned, more about, read her full bio, find all the links, and that's Bratt, Bratt. So check her out, connect with her on all our podcast platforms, and it's also will be on our YouTube. Defining Paths Online. So, a little quick housekeeping. Be sure to visit our virtual home. Again, definingpaths.online is our website. See what we're up to. Follow us on social media. I'd like to thank my amazing dream team, led off by my husband, for their unwavering support and dedication to bring you quality, life giving, inspiring, and life changing conversations like this one with Harriet Bratt. Audience, in closing, my question and call to action for you: what are you waiting for? You have a choice to make. Face and embrace the fear, make it your ally, and move into action. Life is way too short, and it's time for you to find your own path into purpose driven, soul led business ownership. It's time to leap into a safe haven like Harriet's Safe Haven, like the Defining Paths International Safe Haven, where we are called and committed to you, your soul's purpose, and building your success on a firm foundation. So once again, I'm DocV, the Pivot Maestro, and your corner woman. Please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Set your notifications. Stay plugged in. Stay plugged in. And always be true to you. Define your own path in mind, body, soul, and business. We'll see you on our next episode. Thanks again, Harriet.
Yeah.
Pleasure.